MUET speaking paper isn't just about speaking, it is about verbal combat, a battlefield of its own. In those fleeting minutes, we are not just tested on fluency, we are thrusted into the arena of persuasion, charisma, and conviction. Let us not just speak, let us captivate, persuade, and leave a lasting impression. In those few minutes, let us show our verbal skills and persuasive power. Even so, do not be tricked into a state of false security. Countless candidates falter because they view it as a casual conversation. The MUET speaking paper is not simply a matter of fluency. It is a test covering familiar topics, downright to the abstract ones, reflecting personal experiences and education levels. Anything could come up in this battlefield. You name it: culture, financial awareness and consumerism, health and environment, education, and no way are we forgetting science and technology. Think you're up for the challenge? Then let's see an example question and see if you can still call it a walk in the park. Now that is why we proudly present SmartSayyy, the first podcast exploring the topic of the Malaysian University English Test MUET in Malaysia, where we bridge the gap between academic English proficiency and real-world industry insights. With this innovative pedagogical brilliance, we aim towards tackling problems such as lack of critical thinking towards the tested topics. Many candidates struggle to demonstrate critical thinking skills during the MUET speaking test, resulting in lower scores. Low performance in MUET speaking paper. In most cases, candidates suffer from lack of information and creativity in answering the questions. Poor performance in prerequisite exams in universities. This matter could form a potential risk to candidate future in finding a place for tertiary education. Structured in a 4-segment format, we assist the candidates by giving them whispers of insights of the industries, unpack the MUET questions, promote the core values of being Malaysian, and provide mentorship from industry experts. This structure provides a comprehensive guide to the users for their preparation and would allow the students to better cultivate their critical thinking skills and self-development, thus preparing them for excellence in their MUET speaking paper.
So you need to ask yourself what would be the core value of a Malaysian by not just saying that you're a Malaysian. So I think the core value of a Malaysian is kind, friendly, helpful.
The SmartSayyy podcast offers a myriad of benefits. The podcast is a study companion that champions time efficiency, where users and members of the community can conveniently access MUET preparation materials anytime and anywhere, allowing them to study at their own pace without fixed schedules. Furthermore, the podcast is cost-effective, as it reduces the reliance on costly study materials, making it a budget-friendly tool for preparation while being more accessible to a broader audience. Last but not least, the podcast contributes to the users by increasing their productivity by providing structured and effective study materials that are focused and specialized in nature. The podcast enhances the overall academic performance of MUET candidates among the users and communities, contributing to educational excellence. The results of the SmartSayyy podcast are noticeable in listeners. When given a MUET speaking question, the listeners demonstrated the ability to critically articulate their thoughts and opinions regarding the subject matter at hand. This reflects the increase in the listener's bank of knowledge, maturity, and development of character after listening to the SmartSayyy podcast. Moving on to the replication of the SmartSayyy podcast, it can be replicated to all educational institutions in Malaysia, being a convenient and accessible material for the benefits of all educators involved in the teaching and learning process that leads to the MUET speaking test. Even more importantly, the podcast poses as a viable and relevant source of information for private candidates as well, going as far as additional material for international students sitting for the MUET speaking test. All this contributes to the overall effectiveness of the podcast in its objective to be a transformational outlet for MUET candidates to enhance their critical thinking skills, self-development, and familiarity with the themes and issues relevant to the MUET speaking test. The possible avenues for commercialization of the SmartSayyy podcast can be explored through sponsorship deals with parties related to the similar target market, in-app advertising, affiliate programs, and paid bonus episodes. The possible revenue of the podcast will stem from the valuable content and services that it offers. In conclusion, the SmartSayyy podcast aims to tackle the hurdles faced by MUET candidates, such as lack of critical thinking and poor performance through its convenient and accessible configuration, by relaying relevant information and guidance in an easy, comprehensible manner through its segmented presentation, in the hopes that it may assist candidates in developing their critical thinking skills, character building, and to achieve an excellent result in their MUET speaking test.
Hey, what do we say? What do we say? Smile!